Dear students, today we are going to see marshalling, arguments and result. And marshalling, arguments and result is to be implementation of remote procedure calls, and data will be transfer of arguments from the client process to the server process. Yes, and the transfer of result from the server process to client process, and the arguments and result in RBC or language level data structures, that is program object, which are transferred in the form of message data between the two computers are involved. Yes, it requires encoding and decoding of the message data. And this RPC is, that is remote procedure call. This operation is known as marshalling and basically involves the following actions. The first action will be the taking arguments of your client process or the result of a server process that will be form the message data to be sent to the remote process. And the second, encoding is encoding the message data of step 1 above on the sender computer. This encoding process involves the conversion of program object into a stream form that is suitable for transmission and placing them into a message buffer. Third type of operation, decoding of the message data on the receiver computer, and the second one is encoding the message data to the sender computer, and the encoding is decoding message is the receiver computer. This decoding process involves the reconstruction is encoding the message data will be the transmission, placing them into the message buffer only. In this decoding process involves reconstruction of a program object from the message data that was received in stream form. Encoding and decoding of an RPC message can be performed successfully. The order and the representation method used to marshal arguments and the result must be known to both the client and the server of the RPC. This provides a degree of type safety between client and the server, because the server will not accept a call from a client until the client uses the same interface definition as the server. Type safety is of particular importance. Server, since the follow them the call request or the structure, the process must reflect the structure of all type of program is used to concern language. Marshalling procedure, it's classified into two groups. Note it down. Those provided as a part of the RPC software those that are defined by the user of the RPC system. In this RPC software, normally marshalling procedure for a scalar data type together with procedure to marshal compound type built from the scalar ones fall in this group. And the second type of marshalling is used to users of the RPC system. It contains the user defined data type and data type that include pointers. And it is difficult to achieve this goal because of the unexpected large amount of code that may have to be generated for handling all possible data types. Go to next slide. To summarize, a remote procedure call occur in the following step. The client procedure call the client step in the normal way. The client step builds a message and calls the local operating system. The client has sent the messages to the remote host. The remote host gives the message to the server step. The server step unpack the parameter and call the server. The server does the work and returns the result of the step. The server step backs it in a message and call its local. The server has sent the message to the client. The client has gives the message to the client. The step unpacks the result and returns to the client. Move to next topic is server management. The RPC based application, two important issues. One is server management. Consider as server management or server implementation and server creation. One is server implementation and server creation. Let us see one by one in server management. One is server implementation, another one is server creation semantics. And in this server implementation as in this style, implementation used server may be two types, stateful and stateless. Okay, stateful server. The server maintains the client state information from one remote procedure call to the next. Two subsequent calls by a client to a stateful server. Some state information pertaining to the service performed for the client as a result of the first call. Execution is stored by the server process. This client state information is subsequently used at the time of executing the second call. It's a stateful server is divided into file, open, read, write, seek and close. Open. This operation is used to open a file identified by file name in the specified mode. When the server executes this operation, it creates an entry for this file in a file table that it uses maintaining the file state information of all the open files. The file state information normally consists of the identifier to the file, the file open mode, and the current position of a non-negative integer pointer called the read-write pointer. When a file is open, its read-write pointer is set to 0 and the server returns to the client file's identifier, which is used by the client for subsequent accesses to that file. Next one, read. This operation used to get n bytes of data from the file identified by FID into the buffer named buffer. When the server executes this operation, it returns to the client n bytes of file data starting from the byte currently addressed by the read-write pointer and then increment the read-write pointer by n. Next, write. In this operation, the server takes n bytes of data from the specified buffer, writes it into the file identified by FID at the byte position currently addressed by the read-write pointer and then increments the read-write pointer by n. Next one is seek. In this operation, the server to change the value of the read-write pointer of the file identifier by FID to the new value specified as pointer. Close. In this statement, the server to delete from its file table the file state information to the file identified by file ID that is FID. The file server mentioned above is stateful because it maintains the current state information of a file that has been opened for use by a client. In stateless servers does not maintain any client state information. Therefore, every request from a client must be accompanied with all the necessary parameters to successfully carry out desired operations. And these operations are a read and write. Read. In this operation, the server returns to the client n byte of data of the file identified by file name. The returned data is placed in the buffer named buffer. The value actual number of bytes read is also returned to the client. The position within the file from where to begin reading is specified as the position parameter. Write. When the server executes this operation, it takes n bytes of data from the specified buffer and writes it into the file identified by file name. The position parameter specifies the byte position within the file from where to start writing. The server returns to the client the actual number of bytes returned. The file server does not keep track of any file state information resulting from a previous operation. Move to next slide. Server creation semantics. In this, RPC is executed as a result of a remote procedure made by a client process lies in a server process that is totally independent of the client process. Independent here means that the client and the server process have a separate lifetime. They normally run on separate machines and they have their own address space. Since a server process is independent of a client process, that makes a remote procedure call to it. A server process may either be created and installed before the client process or be created on demand basis. It based on the time duration for which RPC server service. It may be classified as three types. One is instance per call server. Second, instance per session server. Session is also transaction, okay. And third, persistent servers. Let us see one by one in server creation semantics. First, we see instance per call server. A server of a type is created by RPC runtime on the server machine only when a call message arrives. The server is deleted after the call has been executed. Okay, I am repeat one more time. A server of this type is created. Okay, once the type is created, the runtime on the server machine only. Okay, when a call message arrives. When the call message arrives, the server is deleted after the call has been executed. Okay, this approach for server creation is not commonly used of the following problems. The problems are the servers of this type are stateless because they are killed as soon as they have serviced the call for which they were created. Therefore, any state that has to be preserved across server call must be taken care of by either the client process or the supporting operating system. In the involvement of the operating system in maintaining intercall state information will make the remote procedure call expensive. On the other hand, the intercall state information is maintained by the client process. The state information must be paused to and from the server with each call. This will be loss of data abstraction across the client-server interface, which will ultimately result in loss of attractiveness of the RPC mechanism to the programmers. And another problem is in the application, distributed application needs to successfully invoke the same type of server several times. This approach appears more expensive since resource allocation and deallocation has to be done many times. Therefore, the overhead involved in server creation and description, the cost of remote procedure call. Second type, instance per session server. Session is also transformation. Session is also transaction. Okay. In this session server, the session of which a client and a server interact, the server of this type for the entire session, it can maintain intercall state information and the overhead involved in server creation and destruction for a client server. Session that involves a large number of calls is also minimized. A server of this type can retain useful state information between calls and so can present a clearer, more abstract interface to its client. In this type, only services a single client and hence only has a manage a single set of state information. And then finally, persistent server. The server of the previous two types cannot be shared by two or more clients because they are exclusively created for a particular client on demand. Unlike them, a persistent server is usually shared by many clients. The server independently exports its services by registering itself with the binding agent. When a client contacts the binding agent of a particular type of service, the binding agent selects a server of the type either based on some inbuilt policy and return the address of the selected server to the client. The client then directly interacts with the server. The server may also be used for improving the overall performance and reliability of the system. For this, several persistent servers that provide the same type of service may be installed on different machines to provide the load balancing or some measure of to failure. Okay, these are all the server management. In this server management are categorized are two types. One is server implementation and server creation semantics. In server implementation is divided into two types, stateful and stateless. And server creation semantics is divided into three types, instance per call server, instance per session server, persistent server. Okay, these are all the server management, and the next topic we will see in our next session. Thank you.